Hey guys, Montel here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Be Blunt with Montel, the podcast where we dig into everything and anything and any issue that matters when it comes to hemp or cannabis. Of course, I'm your host, Montel Williams, and today we are truly honored to have an inspiring guest who's not only an advocate, but also a living testament to the healing power of cannabis. Joining us is Julie Ann Mejia, the CEO and founder of Holistic Hemp Solutions, Inc., and Julie's journey from a traditional medical setting to becoming a pioneer in the cannabis industry is nothing short of remarkable. So, Julie, thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here today.
Absolutely. Look, can you back us up a little bit before we get started and jump into what you're doing right now? Let's take us back for a little bit and tell us, really, where you're from and how you made that transformative journey from traditional medicine into cannabis. And give me a little bit, again, about where you grew up, what it was like, and tell me about yourself.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I was born and raised in Massachusetts. I am a Salem State graduate. I took psychology in undergrad studies with a concentration in cognitive neuroscience and research. After many years of, writing research papers, I was extremely tired and bored of writing papers and really wanted to work with people. So I ended up getting into the psychiatric realm and worked with cognitively impaired adolescents and people that had, psychiatric issues. So,
Gotcha. And your life took a pretty drastic turn back in 2013, right? You had a work-related injury?
Correct. So I was working as a coordinator in a nonprofit setting. We had a residential program, and unfortunately I got injured by a client on the job and injured the whole right side of my body, my neck, my wrist, my back, my ankle. And I have autoimmune disease and developed a rare pain disorder known as Reflex Sympathetic Dystrophy. And unfortunately, the traditional route for that diagnosis was not for me. They put me on every opiate you can think of. And they
opioids, right. I think I went down that same path that you went down when I was first diagnosed with MS. One size doesn't fit all.
It doesn't, not at all. So, unfortunately, I saw the traditional sector for what it truly was after becoming a victim of it.
And then, of course, they probably put you on enough opioids to addict you. However, you didn't addict because it probably didn't work for you, right?
Product didn't work for me. And when I exhausted the traditional opiates, they put me on ketamine. And ketamine barely took the edge off for my chronic pain disorder. So, I was truly blessed when I found relief from cannabinoid products.
Well, but and that was very interesting. So I shared, your experience, how, the experience that led you to cannabis as a treatment option.
So that's exactly it. I unfortunately could not tolerate the traditional realm of medications. I was on every opiate. I was on every nerve pain medication. They did not work for me, and they made me extremely sick. So I was determined. I was told I was never going to walk again properly, that I'd probably never work again. I should go apply for SSDI and call it a day. I refused to let that be my life and started really looking into the traditional, out of the traditional approach and into the more holistic realm. And my first time ever experiencing true healing from cannabinoids, I went to a dispensary. My brother had moved out to Denver, Colorado, and I was blessed to find some products that worked for me at the recreational dispensaries.
Well, but I guess the initial was you were at a friend's and you tried some thinking it might work or something, and to explain that to me.
Yeah, so for me, I had always been a supporter of cannabis. I just didn't know that it could be used for medical purposes. And when I went to the dispensary, I found products that truly helped my neuropathic pain disorder. I got the most relief and I felt fully functional. I did not feel like a human being on the opiates. In fact, I didn't know who I was on the opiates. So it was a tremendous relief to find an alternative approach because, again, I thought my life was over. I was 28 when I got injured.
Sure. And when you realized that it for you, you jumped both feet in trying to figure out how you could help others, right?
Exactly. So, my aunt was sick with cancer back in 2015 when I discovered cannabinoid therapies. I even went to Canada looking for the rare minor cannabinoids, could not find them anywhere. And that really started me down my pathway when, in 2016, when it passed in Massachusetts. I was living in Massachusetts at the time, and I really wanted to um, be a part of the industry because this miraculous plant had done so much for me.
And you started in Mass, but then you decided to move out to Oregon for a while, right? To kind of learn the entire industry.
Correct. So when I got into the industry in 2016, there was one dispensary open in my area. There was not a lot of work around this area. So I decided to uproot my life. It was a really difficult decision. Drove cross country and moved out to Oregon after going to a conference out in Eugene. I met some amazing people out there that said, hey, if you move here, we'll teach you everything you need to know about the industry. And I was truly blessed to meet some beautiful people out in Oregon that helped me immerse myself in the culture.
And you started learning everything from how to grow, be a trimmer,
I started,
the whole 9 yards, right?
yes, exactly. I started as a trimmer and worked my way up. And it was just such a tremendous opportunity to completely immerse in all aspects of the industry.
And with that knowledge base, you then took that back to Massachusetts and started Holistic Hemp. Is that what happened?
That's correct. That's correct. So I was actually helping a few people out on the West Coast. The travel became very taxing for me. I was still at that point healing from my injuries, and the travel every 2 weeks back and forth from Boston to Oregon was truly tremendous for me. So, took all my knowledge back east, started really immersing myself in the culture. I got involved with my local normal chapter doing advocacy work. And I got involved with a local publication called 13 Folds Magazine and started writing and doing interviews and different things for that as well. And started building my company.
Well, give us tell us a little bit more about Holistic Hemp Solutions.
Well, I own a holistic health company, and I now have 2 patent pending international products that contain very unique cannabinoids. I work with the rare minor cannabinoids. I think the acids are just as important. As you know, THC is one cannabinoid, CBD is another. There are many others out there that are very beneficial for the body. And I learned how to cold process under a medical grower out in Oregon. His name is Steve Hunt. He taught me how to do cold processing on traditional cannabis products. And at the time, I was looking for CBDA for both myself and my aunt's cancer. Couldn't locate it in the United States or anywhere else. And decided to start using this cold processing technology on hemp because it didn't exist.
Wow, it's great. And you've also contributed significantly in advocacy and community initiatives. Elaborate a little bit more on what you've been working on.
So as far as community stuff, I advocate a lot for pediatric rights. Right now, I'm working with Dr. Eric Ruby he's one of the qualifying medical patients for the pediatric program in Massachusetts. Children do not have safe access to non-psychoactive cannabinoids or THC products that need them for seizure disorders in a residential or school program. We're one of the only areas in the country that have legal cannabinoid use, but children can't access them even if they're prescribed. So it's pretty concerning. So we're fighting hard for that. And we hope to make some headway with that. I'm also an advocate for diabetics. Unfortunately, in 2015, I had a flu shot that triggered diabetes in my body, and I saw the industry for what that was as well. So I try really hard to make something positive out of everything traumatic that's happened in my life. So,
can you talk a little bit about the challenges that you face as a woman in the cannabis industry and how you've overcome them?
Sure. I've faced a ton of challenges. It's a very male-dominated industry. Women are unfortunately looked at as sex symbols in the space, the stoner chicks and such. But it was very hard starting out to be taken seriously. I had really phenomenal ideas on where I wanted to go with my products and formulations, and it took a while to find my tribe and find the right match to work with the correct people in the industry. So for people starting out, I'd say, especially for women, there's a lot of snakes out there, whether they identify as male, female, or other. So just tread lightly and be cautious. You'll find your tribe eventually, and when you do, it's going to make a total difference.
And you would say that you've been working on formulations that you have some patent pendings for?
Correct. So we're internationally patent pending. I filed for patents, USPO patents, a few years back. That was kind of a wild journey. All my stuff was available as a donation-based product and for my local community members. And Oregon State came out with a research study about 2 cannabinoids, the minor cannabinoids that I was working with at the time, the only one in the country working with these 2 cannabinoids. And I was very concerned when the study came out. It talked about CBDA and CBGA preventing COVID from attaching to the body. And if you did contract COVID, it helped reduce severe symptomology. So at that point, it really pushed me to file. I was concerned about Big Brother, Big Pharma getting involved in the industry and, making these products, unavailable to people.
And, now I've recently figured out that, unbeknownst to a lot of us, there has been a provider of CBDA for about 20 years in the industry in Southern California. But again, a lot of people didn't know about it. And still, they don't know a lot about it. But at least the products are becoming available and are proven to be as efficacious as you say. Or talk about some of the misconceptions about cannabis that you often encounter, and how do you address them?
So there's a lot of misconception about cannabis. Unfortunately, one of the biggest ones is the differentiation between hemp and cannabis. And the 2 main factors in that are the THC factors, being psychoactive versus non-psychoactive. So it's really interesting and fascinating when you're educating people, especially the geriatric population, on how these cannabinoids can help you and work with the body.
This industry is changing and evolving so quickly. First off, I know you've seen the information that's been out about the fact that the DEA is considering rescheduling, and who knows how long it'll take them to do that. But what do you put the ball on? How long do you think it may take them to reschedule, and what do you think its impact will have on the industry?
So it's good and it's bad. From a safe access perspective, I think it's a great thing. I think it should be legal everywhere. Everyone should have safe access and options to these products. Bless you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Excuse me. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I truly believe that the feds getting involved could be a scary thing. I think it could make it a lot harder for healers like myself and others that have already established businesses within the space to continue doing the work that they've been doing. That's really fascinating that you talk about someone in California. I've mentored a lot of people out there, and I think I know who you're talking about with Jana. But it's a really interesting field. These rare minor cannabinoids can do so much for the body, and a lot of times the acids work a lot better because it's intended to be consumed as nature put it together. You're not decarboxylating, which means that you're applying heat. You lose key components of the plant when you have heat extraction. So I truly believe that the acids work a lot better. I know from an anecdotal perspective, working with patients, our pediatric patients have done a lot better with the rare minor cannabinoids and the acids comparative to some of the isolates.
Sure. Now, could you talk a little bit about, some of the experiences that some people have given back to you, patients have talked to you about when using your products?
Yes. I think some of the most rewarding are definitely our pediatric families We have a number of people that take it for seizure disorders and have, like you and I have been through the ringer with the traditional pharmaceuticals and the synthetics and not done as well with those, and their bodies don't process them as well. I work with little kids that have no functionality with life, and now they're able to play sports and, have a normal life, some sense of normalcy with their diseases. So that's a huge thing. We're now being recognized within Hasbro Children's Hospital and some of the big major hospitals. So that's one of the most rewarding parts of my job is working with kids. I've always worked with kids, and I love to see children, benefit from my products.
Now, what advice would you give someone who's considering using cannabis for medical purposes, but they're unsure whether it's safe or not?
I'd say check your additives for your pharmaceuticals. It's a lot safer than those.
Sure.
Yeah, I personally have been dealing with some stuff with my insulin. They're putting industrial chemicals, some of them classified EPA, possible C, human carcinogens into injectables, on a global scale. So it's pretty concerning. Again, not all products are treated equally. There's a lot of additives in cannabis products as well. So I'd say our products are as pure as they come. We don't use any harsh solvents or additives, and with our cold processing technology, we're truly able to get all the cannabinoids and all the terpenes from the raw organic material into our organic olive oil solutions. So, it's truly a testament. I share with everyone, please check your ingredients.
Absolutely. And, your background in cognitive neuroscience has really informed your approach to how you actually approach and develop cannabis products, has it not?
It definitely has impacted it a lot because, seeing from the traditional sector how some of those seizure medications, for example, affected children's daily ability to function. The side effects of some of those medications are tremendously impactful. Some of these kids can't go to school, and live a normal life. So it's truly important that, we offer the most natural derivatives of these products without harmful side effects. And that's kind of my goal, is safe, quality, and affordable access that for anyone that wishes to try them.
We seem to be sitting at a time where this industry is really kind of almost in flux, in the sense that, we have some bad players in the industry who are going back to using extremely caustic chemicals in their production, and others that have shifted in your direction, and others in the same direction for using, non caustic chemicals for at least extraction and things like that. What do you think the future holds for the cannabis industry?
So I think as we see more areas come online for recreational purposes, unfortunately, medical takes a back seat, and we've seen that. So we really have to, as patients, continue to fight hard to keep that alive and make sure that that exists, because there has to be a distinction between the two. There has to be protections for the medical patients, because this is a medicine for a lot of people. And I think even for the rec side of things, a lot of people consume because, it helps them with anxiety or it helps them relax, and they don't realize that they're actually using it for some kind of medicinal benefit. But
yeah, that's exactly what I've been saying for the last 20 years, almost, that most people who gravitate to cannabis over other forms of euphoric inducing products don't even recognize that they are gravitating there because of a medical reason. If you claim you want to sleep better, that's medical. If you claim you want to be able to relax when you come up from work, that's medical. People don't understand that really is what actually started this entire movement. So maybe we ought to put a little more emphasis on that. Where your products, again, tell me the name of your company, where your products are available, where can people get them right now?
So my company is Holistic Hemp Solutions. They are starting to branch out into stores, but the easiest way people can get them on a nationwide scale is going to our website, www.h as in Harry, solutions with an S at the end, .co. And you can purchase right on the website, and we'll mail them to you. They're available in all states legally.
You're able to sell the non-THC products
Correct.
that way, right?
Correct.
Okay. Right. That's great. Okay. And so anybody who wants to be able to figure out a way to get them, they ought to just go up the line. I mean, what is your crystal ball look at what the industry may look like in the next 3 to 4 years?
It's going to be an interesting one for sure. I think once the feds start getting involved and putting their hands in, it's going to get messy. I really do think so, and it's unfortunate because again, all of us have developed and put the time and energy into our businesses. We're healers. We're in it for the right reasons. Well, most of us, and it's concerning. It's concerning because again, the government, I don't always think has our best interest at heart.
Right. And, I mean, there's a lot of folks out there right now who are still, I think one of the things this industry has done poorly has been to educate the masses. And, there are a lot of people out there who have entirely wrong misconceptions about cannabis. So for those listeners out there, what message would you send to them if they're the ones that are skeptical about even using? What would you say to them?
So we deal with a lot of people that are like, well, it's the devil's lettuce or whatnot. And I'd say to them, a lot of people that are religious or skeptical about it, I'd say it's God's medicine. It's God's gift to earth, and to people. It's the most natural healing medicine out there. And I call it a medicine because for me it is. A lot of people, they don't believe that, but unfortunately, a lot of people like myself and like you, the synthetics did not work well for their bodies. This is the most natural approach. And for me, I'd say, please give it a try before judging. You'd be surprised with the outcome.
I mean, in the face of all this daunting and hard uphill battle that we seem to be still fighting, which I don't understand why we're fighting anymore to begin with, but with all of that, I mean, what keeps you going?
Every day that I wake up is a beautiful day. I'm on this planet for a reason. I'm having the medical traumas for a reason. I'm here to be a voice for those that can't speak. And, that's what keeps me going every day. I'm truly blessed. I have a beautiful family that supports me. I have a diabetic service dog, and my husband and I, we take, solace in nature and just helping people. I give back to the community as much as possible. I work pro bono with cancer patients when I can, and I just want to help the world heal as naturally as possible. I don't want anyone to have to go through what I went through.
One more time, give out that website.
www.Harry solutions with an S at the end, .co, not com.
And people can order products that can be delivered them across the nation,
Correct.
All 50 states, and don't have to worry about it because they don't have THC or they have, the legal amount of THC. And so they can go up online and order directly from you, right?
Correct.
Well, great. Thank you so much, Julie, for sharing your story today. It's been very powerful, very inspirational. Your dedication to the holistic health and cannabis advocacy is truly commendable. And for all of you guys out there and all you listeners, make sure you find Julie's website and order and find out and get more information if you can, for sure. I got to thank you so much for being a part of the show again. Again, it's called holistichempsolutions.com. And, go on over and check it out. And make sure you keep tuning in to Let's Be Blunt with Montel for more straightforward conversations about everything and anything cannabis. Have a great day. You stay well, Julie.
Thank you, Montel. Pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining me on Let's Be Blunt with Montel. Please make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell to be notified when new episodes post each week. We'd love to hear your feedback also, so please send us your comments.